Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Collector Edition Black Canary, brought to us by the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, despite the fact that, well, my girl Dinah Lance here has not been on the good receiving end of compliments from the collecting community. Other than myself, of course, when I reviewed the Platinum, which, check that review out if you haven't already. Would really appreciate it if you did. But today we're looking at the standard version, complete with fishnets and pleather jacket that feels a little different from the Platinum. We'll get into that. But before we do so, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Miss Lance has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the collectible trading card. Bio on the back that reads, "I'd still fuck her harder than your mom last night." So, there you go. That said, as far as other accessories go, she does have a couple of trigger finger hands for all the time she packs AK-47s. Yeah, I'm never going to use those. She also has a pair of open hands, which is when the finger's a little warped, but again, probably never going to use those, because Black Canary for me is a fighter, so fists are the way to go. It just sucks that the Platinum didn't come with two pairs of fists with the gloves on it, otherwise I might throw those on here. That said, we have two extra faceplates, one with the Sonic Scream, one that's kind of, I don't know, wanting to talk to your manager for why you don't think she's pretty. And, you know, I get it. She could look prettier, but I don't know. I feel like all the guys complaining about how hot she isn't are not good looking themselves, myself included. Although I've been told otherwise, it's neither here nor there. So taking Ms. Lance off the hockey puck display stand, we're seeing with all McFarlane Toys releases. Really good job on the fishnets. Like, these are really nice. They're nice and tight. They're smaller. They're way better than the ones Mattel gave. Well, I have Zatanna, but they gave their Black Canary figure real fishnets too during the DC Classics days. But these are really good. And they don't really hinder the articulation all that much. But I wouldn't leave the knees posed for extended periods of time. You don't want to stretch these out and have them be all saggy, naggy, and whatnot. I will say there is a pin sticking out of the knee on mine here. I might heat that up and push it in if it's safe to do so. Speaking of heat, my coat here did have a bit of a massive wrinkle on the back that I used. I used a little bit of hairdryer action to get that out. It's better now. It's not perfect, but it's fine. But not the worst face ever. It's definitely not Toy Biz female figure bad. Let's not kid ourselves. A lot of people say she looks like China or Marjorie Taylor Greene. Good lord. But I think she looks fine. Is it perfect? No, but it's fine. I've seen worse in my area, so, you know, take that for what you will. But as far as her articulation goes, her head will rotate. And it is pretty much just straight up rotation. You're not going to get a lot out of that, especially if you have the jacket pulled up all the way like I do. The arms can go out, back down, rotate forward and back. Beautiful butterfly. Bicep swivel, but it is pretty hindered. Double elbow. Works fine. Ball hinge wrist. That will rotate, hinge, and swivel. She does have a ball jointed waist that will rotate. Lean back, forward not really. Hips will kick forward, back, out, and if you're wondering, the thigh cut is attached, or the fishnets are attached up into the thigh cut here. On both sides, I imagine. Yeah. They just go all the way up to that. I'm guessing they hook up and around the top of the leg so they stay in place. So you don't got to worry about messing them up too much. She does actually have a thigh cut. A little bit. I would say the Platinum's probably a little better. And then she does have a ball hinge foot that will rotate, hinge, and pivot. And no toe joints, because those suck. So, you know, it's fine. It gets the job done. I will say her coat feels a little different from the Platinums. It feels a bit stickier, if that makes sense. And I don't know if it's because it's got this Canary tempo on the back, which I'm not a fan of that. I wish it was just black, which there is a Black Canary Green Arrow 2-pack on a leak list. Maybe that one will just have the straight black jacket and, you know, maybe just leggings in case you missed the Platinum. I'm imagining it'll be an amalgamation of the two, maybe with better faceplates, maybe with the same ones. Either way, I'll buy it, because you can never have too many Black Canaries. At least I can't have too many Black Canaries. But there is another figure I have with one of these McFarlane pleather jackets that it feels a bit stickier, if that makes sense. Watch it, comment section. I know you're ready to pounce that statement. Get your mind out of the gutter. But I do have another figure with a pleather jacket that's a little bit on the sticky side, and that is the Mr. Terrific from the Superman movie display. He was a Platinum edition. His coat is like blue and yellow, and I believe he's from JSA. So I'm going to bust him out for comparison, double check his coat along with the Platinum Black Canary's coat, and see what's going on there, because I'm curious. Is it different material? Is it just the way certain colors come out? I don't know. I'm not a fashionista, whatever you call it. So with that being said, I think it is now time that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here we have good old Black Canary alongside her Platinum Chase, as well as the aforementioned Mr. Terrific, both of which were actually aforementioned, but, you know, it is what it is. And, yeah, I gotta say, the coats on all three of these, despite the fact they're all pleather, feel different. The Platinum Black Canaries feels pretty butter smooth. I would say Mr. Terrific feels the smoothest, and then this new one, it feels kind of sticky. It's very weird. Maybe it needs to air out. It is kind of hot when I got the figure, and again, I did use heat to try and work out a wrinkle on the back, so maybe that's got something to do with it, but very interesting. Anyone else notice this? Let me know, I guess. I'm very curious. But I will say, of the two Black Canaries, I do prefer the Platinum. It's just based off source material I'm familiar with. So, getting these two out of the way. Yeah, this Mr. Terrific coat is smooth as butter, whereas this Platinum Black Canary's coat, not so much, but it feels different. It's very weird. But bringing in our two regulars, we have the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibolith. If you want to know what my girlfriend and I look like together, that's pretty close, although she's a lot prettier than Dinah Lance here. Sorry, not sorry. And we have the infamous Elephant Spawn, who is a hair taller than Black Canary, but not by much. So I guess she's a little tall, but it doesn't really bother me. So with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from any other gripes I may have had with the Platinum Edition of good old Dinah Lance, the only major issue I have with this particular Black Canary figure is the jacket feels weird to me. It does not feel as butter smooth as the Platinums did. So again, let me know in the comments if you guys experienced the same thing, because I noticed this difference again with the Mr. Terrific Collector Edition figures, and I wonder if it's just different releases, different colors, maybe it's a different material altogether. I don't know. What I do know, though, is that they pretty much nailed the fishnet stockings. Again, for a 7-inch scale figure, that's pretty impressive. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.